25, and clock is ticking.
So yes, keep telling y'all never, ever, ever find another.
In local politics, where governance usually comes before drama, Dalton, Illinois Mayor Tiffany Henyard has turned her time in office into a spectacle similar to a reality TV show. Instead of being known for major achievements, she has gained attention for flashy public stunts and questionable financial choices. Her leadership has been filled with scandals, reckless spending, and growing financial problems, which have frustrated residents in Dalton and Thornton Township. Despite public outrage, Henyard continues to defend herself and ignore calls for her resignation. One of her most surprising moves was announcing her bid for a second term, even comparing herself to former President Donald Trump and downplaying the controversies of her first term. This sparked backlash, with residents protesting and local officials clashing over her mismanagement. Under her leadership, Dalton's finances have collapsed. A few years ago, the town had over $5 million in savings, but now it faces a $3 million deficit. A major investigation, led by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, revealed shocking financial mismanagement, including nearly $40,000 in taxpayer-funded Amazon purchases, $1, for $40 spent in just one day. Residents are outraged and demanding answers, but Henyard has avoided direct explanations, worsening public distrust. Despite growing opposition, she continues to act as a super mayor, brushing off financial troubles as minor issues. Her refusal to take responsibility has deepened the divide between her and the community. Once a promising leader, Henyard is now at the center of scandals, with her popularity plummeting. As Dalton's debt rises and calls for her resignation grow louder, her future in politics is uncertain. Her time in office has been marked by wasteful spending, controversy, and a divided town. If she runs for re-election, Dalton residents are unlikely to forget her tenure, though for all the wrong reasons.
Calls for a change at the top in South suburban Dalton.
Of course
Tiffany Henyard insists that the controversial spending under her administration was for the community's benefit. However, an audit has revealed serious issues with how she handled public funds. It found a pattern of careless spending, with large purchases on the village's credit card becoming routine. Many of these expenses were poorly documented or completely unjustified, leading critics to accuse her of financial mismanagement. Given the town's growing financial crisis, many believe she has been reckless with taxpayer money. During a tense village meeting, a frustrated resident demanded, "Where's the accountability? Our streets are crumbling, our schools are underfunded, and she's spending like it's monopoly money." This frustration is shared by many residents and local officials who are demanding answers about her spending and priorities. But it's not just Henyard's spending that has caused public outrage. Her leadership style has also been heavily criticized. She has been described as combative and chaotic, turning public meetings into battlegrounds rather than spaces for discussion. At one heated meeting, she arrived late, further frustrating residents. An angry participant stood up and declared, "We are not your subjects. We are your bosses. You will not treat us this way any longer." Instead of addressing these concerns, Henyard dismissed the criticism, calling it contempt, and insisting that her leadership is exactly what Dalton needs. "Whether you like it or not, I am your mayor," she declared, standing her ground despite growing opposition. However, her defiance has only angered residents more, making her an increasingly unpopular leader. As investigations into Dalton's finances continue and the town's financial troubles worsen, many wonder how long Henyard can hold on to power. With escalating scandals and increasingly hostile public meetings, her leadership appears to be heading toward a breaking point. The question remains, will her defiance keep her in office, or will it ultimately force her out?
At the conclusion of this investigation, I will provide an assessment of the findings and the recommendations.
The controversy surrounding Mayor Tiffany Henyard isn't just limited to Village Hall. Her personal life is also making headlines. She is currently facing an eviction lawsuit from her landlord, who claims that she and her boyfriend haven't paid rent since August. The landlord says they owe thousands in back rent and even changed the locks to keep him out. This lawsuit has only increased the scrutiny on Henyard, as critics argue that she seems more focused on maintaining her public image than solving Dalton's problems. People are also questioning how Henyard, who earns over $300,000 a year from 2 public jobs, could be struggling financially. Meanwhile, she continues to promote herself as super mayor, making grand public appearances and installing huge welcome banners with her face on them. These displays have been widely criticized as self-serving and out of touch, especially when Dalton is facing serious financial issues. The situation escalated when it was revealed that the vendor responsible for the banners hadn't been paid. When workers started removing them, Henyard allegedly called the police and tried to press charges, even against her own village administrator. This move sparked more outrage, with residents questioning why she seemed more worried about her reputation than the town's well-being. Many in Dalton find her actions embarrassing, with critics saying she is more focused on her public image than addressing real issues. Combined with her financial mismanagement and personal controversies, people are increasingly doubting her ability to lead. Instead of fixing the town's problems, she appears to be doubling down on her defiance and obsession with her image, further fueling public frustration. With growing opposition both inside and outside her administration, it's becoming harder to see how Henyard can recover from the series of missteps that have defined her time in office. Dalton residents are left wondering if she will ever take their concerns seriously, or if she will continue prioritizing her own image over the town's future.
Mayor Henyard to arrive. We will give another 5 minutes.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard delayed the meeting with
Mayor Tiffany Henyard of Dalton, Illinois, faces mounting scandals, financial mismanagement, and growing public outrage. Despite earning over $300,000 annually, she and her boyfriend are embroiled in an eviction lawsuit. Meanwhile, her focus on self-promotion, like installing unpaid-for banners featuring her face, has drawn criticism. Her leadership style is seen as combative, with chaotic public meetings and trustees boycotting sessions over transparency concerns. Dalton and Thornton Township are now under federal investigation for financial irregularities. With approval ratings plummeting, challenger Jason House is gaining support, promising accountability. As the election nears, Henyard's grip on power is weakening, and residents must decide if it's time for change.